Catherine Lundgren wants to know who bears responsibility for maintenance of Site 12 units on Treasure Island, the Navy or TIDA. Tuesday, August 18, 2015, RAB meeting number 178.
I have a question about work that's done through TIDA and John Stewart. And when they perform maintenance in, around everyone's units, what is the process there? When they start to do maintenance, is that something that they need to run through the Navy before they do it? Do they need to account for their actions while they're doing it? Who actually is watching what they're doing? Are you in charge of that?
No.
Okay, so do they need to go through a city permitting process when they remove asbestos and mold and dig pipes up out of our front yards?
Catherine, the day-to-day maintenance and monitoring activities and all that, that's I know you don't want to hear this, but that's best answered by...
I want to hear whatever you have to say.
Okay, that's best answered by Mr. Beck and the Treasure Island Development Authority.
Mr. Beck, would you care to comment? Because I'd like to hear this. What is the process there, and why are there missing permits when work has in fact been done and documented in a number of ways to have been performed on the units dealing with asbestos, wrapped and labeled as asbestos and mold removal, and yet in your documents that you share with other residents, within the same time frame that work was performed on my home, you don't even list my address as one of the units contaminated, and yet I was pushed out for 3 months.
Okay. In terms of excavations in and around the neighborhood, there is a permitting process we go through with the Navy before any excavation is done, and there are tests that the Navy requires be performed whenever.
Excuse me a minute. Can you turn the timer off, because this is his answer, not my question.
It is off.
Yeah.
And it's really annoying.
And so there is a permitting process there. In terms of the work inside of the units, the San Francisco Building Department doesn't issue permits on the island because it has not been city property up until this point, but work is tracked and monitored by the villages.
Okay, do we have access to that tracking and monitoring? And if it is actually your jurisdiction, when they do things on your continue to lease this property, Site 12, why are you not doing the work?
Okay,
why
so-
is the city doing the work? And why am I not able to find the documents regarding the work done on my unit? It was asbestos, which is friable. You start tearing apart walls, it contains it. You tear apart heaters. You wrap an entire home with labels that state such.
Catherine,
I mean, answer me.
Okay.
Why are you not involved in the removal of the asbestos that you deposited on this island and that they've allowed us to live within?
Because that's, well, go ahead.
There is a master lease between the Navy and TIDA, actually a series of master leases that give TIDA control and responsibility for the maintenance of facilities on the island. So the Navy does not actively participate in any work that's done on the building structures on the island.
So nobody's watching when things are released into my immediate environment. There's no dust monitor. There's no attempt to prevent this from affecting our families while this work is being done. You're not watching it. They have a process that is not transparent. In fact, actually attempts to stop us from getting clean, healthy environment within our homes for our families. And no one is watching it. None of the regulators are there. I've had 4 sewage backups with literal feces within my home. And I called CDPH and we got thrown off to the side, SFDPH. They're never here. Nobody monitored the air. This is We had the highest level of warning from the CDC in their statement, the same statement I got from Jon Stewart, do not use the water. This time, nobody did anything. They didn't provide potable water. They attempted to tell my children to go 2 blocks into another unit in the middle of the night to go to the toilet. We weren't afforded any of the preventative measures to keep my family from being ill. And it has actually resulted in a very tragic situation and a chronic illness with one of my family members. So I'm asking, when work is done, who is in charge? Now, when you guys, Jon Stewart, TIDA, PUC, fixed a pipe, I was told that it was feminine hygiene products that blocked it up. I beg your pardon. Without getting into personal habits, no, this is the blame game. You blame the residents. The Mulder report states that 3/4 of the homes are responsible for their own mold due to housekeeping. That was also attempted to be used on me. Look, we're done with it. You are not doing your jobs. I demand to know who's in charge of the process and who is regulating this process.
Well, if you demand to know, Catherine, he just gave you the answer, and I'm not, there's a master lease agreement in which.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, TIDA, I now expect you to start being more transparent. I need you to provide us the mitigation procedures that will keep us safe during the work that you are now responsible for, according to the Navy. And Jon Stewart, as their subcontractor, I'm demanding that you start to be more honest and stop blaming us for these issues that have been here since the Navy left these buildings. You have shown us how these buildings deteriorate in a number of these little processes that you have here in these meetings. You've shown us pictures of mold-infested units. Mind you, no one was in those. Those were within exclusion zone. Hallelujah. But that process and that deterioration happens within our homes and gets painted over. It does not get addressed properly. And as regulators, you should be concerned that no one is coming in and testing the air after these events. No one is doing their job. Where is the test on the water? Why should I have to pay for it as a citizen who's already paying rent? Why? When all of you bigwigs, all of you people who appeal to Congress for money are taking taxpayer dollars, and we are the taxpayers, and we're paying you back. We're paying upon paying. Something is wrong with this process. And then we have 2 minutes to explain this entire process to you. I have to tell you that in your application for Mare Island for funding, it states clearly, and I have copies, and you can go and get your copies. You will remove environmental regulations to allow habitability. Are you doing that to us as well? Are you moving your environmental regulations to adjust what they need? That is a huge and important question, and you might want to take that home and look into that. Mare Island, in the words of Jane Kim, you're just like every other neighborhood. In other words, why should we be special? You're absolutely right. We are just like Mare Island, just like Bayview Hunters Point, just like the Presidio, just like Alameda.
Okay.
This needs to change now. You cannot remove or adjust environmental regulations that are set to accommodate a redevelopment process that leaves us hanging no matter what we choose to do. There is no choice here. And as a personal address to you, Mr. Foreman, in the last community meeting, you leaned forward very gleefully and suggested, Catherine, why are you still here if you're unhappy? Let me tell you something. I was once one of those people that shook your hand. I was once willing to sit at the table and negotiate until you continued to turn the words around and to shift things to your desire. If you don't think it's evident, you need to go back through your paperwork and you need to really, really critique that. Perhaps get one of us who don't agree with you and shake your hand and take your favoritism. Because we're the ones who are gonna identify each and everything that you have done wrong. And,
Okay.
and
Fair enough.
God bless you. This is going to be the end of this.
Okay.
I am sick of being treated this way. I am sick of being retaliated against. I am sick of people not paying attention. I don't get paid to go around the island and pay attention. But damn it, I am willing to do that. Why are you not willing to do that? That needs to be done.
Okay.
You
Thank-
get your people on it.
Thank
Get
you,
your people
Catherine.
on it.
All right.